And welcome, everybody, to the continuing live coverage here on BowlTV of the 2026 opening tournament of the PBA50 Tour right here at Spanish Springs Lane in the Villages. I'm Dave Lamont, joined by Craig Elliott, Brian Kane on controls. We're down to our final five, Craig, after what's been a long and unpredictable day by the way these lanes have played, and it's a really interesting five. At the top, the man who's dominated the tournament. We also have two of our five looking for their first PBA50 championship ever, including Randy Weiss in our opening game.
I think that's the story. We've got 25 titles on this stepladder, but two players who have not won yet on this tour. And both those players looking to do that here today. Randy Weiss, of course, the 2025 PBA Rookie of the Year, looking for that first win on any tour here. A lot of regional titles, but nothing on the national scene.
And amazingly, the other person is a household name in this sport, Danny Wiseman. Danny just doesn't bowl this tour very often, doesn't bowl that much in national competitions anymore, sometimes only one or two, but he is here. He is the number 3 seed. The number 2 seed, Tom Hess, and the number 1 seed, John Janawicz. Tom Hess's path there has been very entertaining.
Yeah, he's been using that four-leaf clover, lucky horseshoe, rabbit's foot, whatever you want to call it, multiple times today. But look, he's here. He's a 2 seed looking for title number 12.
But John Janawicz has been the man since we had the first shot on Tuesday, which oddly enough he took. It was a 6-7 split. He made it, and it's been nothing but easy street for him since then.
Yeah, John averaged over 250 looking for title 10, and this is his tournament to win for the second time. Dominated qualifying, got through the matches, looking to win another title.
All right, so we've got the classic stepladder format. You see that Randy and Brian right behind us are practicing. Let's get to the lanes. They are about ready to start. And last seconds, literally, of practice for our opening match. And, of course, we had the round of 24, round of 16, round of 8 bracket format. So in that format, Brian LeClair ended up being, I hate to use lucky loser, but I guess that's the proper way to say it. Brian, as the number 8 seed, was the highest seed remaining who didn't win in the round of 8. John Janawicz nailed down the number 1 seed, and by being the number 1 seed and winning, Tom Hess was the number 2 overall seed because he was the second highest seed when he won, defeating John Mikowski. And so when Brian LeClair was beaten by Janawicz and Hess won, that put LeClair in as the number 8 seed. And that's why we have what we have.
Yeah, it's interesting. All the years we've had this format, we really haven't come up with a consensus term. The lucky dog, the biggest loser, the golden ticket, all sorts of different things. But look, hey, at the end of the day, his goal is to make the show. He makes the show. Being Brian LeClair.
And here we go. I think we are about to begin. LeClair, the hires, well. And that's a perfect start for Randy Weiss. Randy, a load of success at the regional level.
Yeah, 13 regional titles for Randy.
None on the national title yet. And Brian LeClair's last PBA50 title was 2019 in Hammond at the South Shore Open. He has 5 PBA50 titles. Now we're on a pair that has yielded a lot of high scores, 17 and 18. This pair has not been in any use at all today in our 32-lane home here in Central Florida, a part of the ever-growing complex known as the Villages. Really curious to see how this is going to turn out because, Craig, we have seen some turns for the worse as the lanes have broken down.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to all the players. A lot of urethane kind of on their ball list, but everybody's ready to go to reactive. I think the biggest thing, what we saw in the matches where they got a little squirrely, is there was only 5 minutes of practice on the pairs. They've been out here now practicing, all the guys, for about 20 minutes. So there's been a lot more play on these lanes, and everybody's hoping that they kind of blended them out. They're not going to have that big over-under, any of those goofy things. Hopefully it holds up better. But every player said, well, I'm going to watch what the guys before me did. I'm going to watch what the guys before me did. So all the guys in the stepladder are being very conscious of what the guys are doing. Of course, we got Randy out there. His first choices of bowling ball, it's going to be a purple tank, and the second choice is a purple tank, and the third choice is a purple tank.
Well,
before he might get into something
before
else.
He gets into a different tank. Hey, it's been working.
Best finish on national tour for Randy in his career, 3rd place, but a lot of regional titles, 13 regional titles. And one of his biggest wins that he's pretty proud of. And here's some names you'll recall here. They won the last World Team Challenge, which is a massive event several years ago. Guys on that team, John Gaines, Brad Angelo, Dave Gwendon, and Tommy Jones was part of that group. So that was
South Carolina group.
Pretty
with
star-studded
PJ
group
and Randy.
there. Yeah.
Randy out of Columbia, South Carolina. The 2024 PBA50 Rookie of the Year. And it's a strike fest in the early going.
Yeah, it was anything but a strike fest in a few of our matches. The Wiseman-Knowlton match was like, okay, who can get 8? Who can get 9? You're going to win.
Who can convert a washout?
Yeah.
We had a bunch of those. It's really, really, it's been an interesting day. Not always high scoring, but many of these match play matches came down to the 10th frame.
Yeah, don't need the high scores for the exciting matches. And, the 8.
That's the 3rd time we've seen that today. In the exact same thing. In fact, the guy who threw the first one we saw just walked behind us, Danny Wiseman, who's in the next match. See the ball just go racing right past the 8.
Brian starting with the Concept, one of the newer releases from Storm this year. We've seen it quite a bit on all the tours. Well, obviously here this week, first year, but we saw it a lot. Their first event here in the Villages. Make sure he gets 1. If you bounce it out, great. Get the 1. Early advantage. Randy Weiss.
Kind of staring that one down. So he goes from a pocket 8-10 to a pocket 7-10.
And we've seen that a lot in these last couple matches in some pretty important points of the match. This one a little bit earlier for Brian, but it's going to be back-to-back opens. Chances of making this are like, what, 0.7%?
Well, we just have not seen those kind of dramatic conversions. Spanish Springs just doesn't have that kind of backing. So we've had some, well, we had a 6-7-10 made, I think a couple of times. We've had some others made, but things like 7-10, we're not getting that kind of crazy bounce.
I think we might have saw a couple of pins bounce out over the sweep for Deadwood, but other than that,
yeah,
not super lively back there. So you gotta hit them solid to get them to fall. The light mixer seems to be carrying the best in this building. Those high hard ones, the heavy hits. We see a lot of 8s, a lot of 9s, those 7-10s, 4-9s. So kind of line up light mixer, and if you happen to get one in a little bit, maybe you get a break and carry it flush.
Okay.
Look
Get out of there. Yeah, it did. Yeah. Well, you have to wonder. I mean, Randy has been on step ladders, as you mentioned, but not a lot of them. And I don't know how much he thinks about, I'm looking for my first title. I don't know. Again, he knows how to win, as he's done it at the regional level. But is he consumed with winning that first title? Or, well, we may find out.
I mean, knowing Randy, not consumed, but he's definitely thinking about it. And kids are home watching as well. They travel with him quite a bit to a lot of events, but school this week, so they're home watching.
That's overrated. Next up will be Danny Wiseman, the PBA Hall of Famer, USBC Hall of Famer, owner of 12 PBA titles, 12 regional titles, but none on this tour.
For a 34-pin lead, gets it.
Got away with that one a little bit. That one looked a little on the high side.
Yeah, by his reaction in front of us, I think he's very happy that those fell. Yeah, that was a 4-7-10 for a split second there.
Here's Brian, an upstate New York man, Albany, 61 years old now. Been a pro since 1984.
So I'm going to give you a reason why, if we're going to pick up somebody to win the Stepladder, why Brian LeClair is the guy to pick. You ready for it?
Yeah, always.
His first grandson, born 7 months ago, Bennett. Brian's bowled 5 events since he was born.
And?
Won them all.
Really?
So, bit of a streak going here for Brian LeClair.
All right.
3 of them were doubles with 3 different partners.
Well, Brian celebrated turning 60 by bowling extremely well at the World Series of Bowling for the PBA50 crowd last year in Columbus, Ohio. There you go. A recovery double for LeClair after the back-to-back 8-10, 7-10 disasters.
Very important on this short 38-foot Homeland pattern to get all the oil off the bowling ball, because there's still a fair amount of oil out there, 29.5 mils. You want that clean surface, get the proper reaction. Randy with one of the unique follow-throughs. Watch where this arm swing goes. That one was much more up the back than normal.
Yes,
left
it was.
of target. Yeah, that was not a good shot.
I equate him. He has that kind of Sam Cooley follow.
Exactly. That's
that
what
kind of
Sam Cooley,
snap
Mike Fagan.
across the body, across the chest, follow through. And that time, you're right. That was much more elongated.
Keeps a 14-pin advantage in max score. Does Randy Weiss. And I'm a little more comfortable right now talking max scores than what we were about an hour ago in some of those other matches.
It was really strange. I mean, at any moment, you never knew what was going to happen. And that sounds like, well, of course you never know. But no, we really mean that, because somebody would be like, let's say Randy would go throw a 3-bagger. The next thing might be a washout. And then the next thing might be a split. And then the next thing, it was just that kind of guys would have max scores in the 250s, and 4 frames later, that was like 180. It was just so strange in here today. Can't argue with that.
Pretty direct, though. Pretty direct. Corners have been tough to get kicked out here. Got to watch the angle of entry. Something was really amplified we saw in the Danny Wiseman match. When he got a little quick with his ice oil, the ball did not want to go right to left. It did not want to pick up. So that's when you see a lot of those washouts, those buckets.
Bang. Brian LeClair, rack ripping fun.
Really hasn't made a horrible shot. 8-10 was in the pocket, 7-10 was in the pocket, and 5 strikes. What's right up 9? Four in a row. Flat 10.
No, crowd behind us, and an excellent crowd. We've had wonderful crowds here at the Villages at Spanish Springs Lanes, as we always do. There's quite a lot of bowling that goes on here. Walter Ray Williams Jr. bowls in another bowling center in the Villages, just a few blocks from here. He bowls league there. So it's a big bowling community.
Yeah, we were here, I think, Sunday morning starting to set up. There was 2 leagues going on, a bunch of open play, bright and early, 9 o'clock Sunday morning. This community loves their bowling, and the tour loves coming here. Well, this is my 11th trip to this building, Dave, and it's enjoyable every single year. The first time we sat together in a couple of years.
At this building, yeah, you weren't here last year. I was with Mike.
It's a good-looking shot. Creeps a little high, just a little bit.
And there's the infamous, and I say infamous because 3-6-10 has been an extremely common leave over these last 3 days. And the percentage is better than we thought. Magnus from Lane Talk, our friend, responded when we requested a mock-up of what the 3-6-10 was being converted. What was it? Better than 70%?
Through qualifying, 66%. I think it's definitely down since then because we haven't seen it made very often. Yes, it gets made, but it's, you know, as we talked a lot, this flat iron is very flat going across the middle. You know, Randy with a hard bowling ball, a sniper, that's not going to hook too much. But we see some of the balls stand up or even just miss right.
Yeah,
you saw him staring down. He wasn't 100%. He was about 92%. I think I got it.
I was going to say, you got to lean into that conversion the way it has gone in this event. It's been very difficult.
Yeah, no count loss. That was on a strike, so a 15-pin advantage right now for Randy Weiss. 2 frames to go.
Yeah, to be fair, many of the misses were by players who just weren't good enough to make it in through the cut. So once we started eliminating some of those folks, the percentage probably got a little bit better. He liked it, and just not able to get the 10-pin kicked out.
Yeah,
So
it wasn't a ring 10, wasn't a flat 10. The 6-pin kind of took a peek, and said, I give up.
It was the I give up 10. Yeah. That tightens this ship considerably. It's now a 4-pin difference between Weiss and LeClair if Randy makes this. So if Randy makes this, Brian LeClair getting up in the 9th cannot lock Randy out. He is staring down everything right now.
A couple solid games for the players right now. Staying clean, those 2 splits for Brian, but he's all over the pocket. So his job now is to throw 3 strikes and force Randy Weiss to double in the 10th. If he wants to win this match, we've got a Hall of Famer and Danny Wiseman waiting for the winner.
Dominating strike by Brian.
Oh, he bumped a little left, kind of shaping it just a touch. Got 8 to 6-ish. Maybe even just 8 to 7. Not much. I think those 2 pocket splits and the 10-pin told Brian he's got to shape it just a touch to get that entry angle where he wants it to knock all 10 down. He likes it, walking it out.
Yes. Another big shot here, because every good thing that happens to Brian is going to make Randy Weiss have to work harder in the 10th frame. Oh, and that even got moved a little bit. That 9-pin was nudged.
Yeah, his reaction says, well, I threw that pretty good, but I need a little bit of help, and he didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. His reaction wasn't like, oh, I pured this one. I think he understood that might not strike. But what a bizarre seeing that 9-pin kind of get nudged, for lack of a better word.
All right, 213.
Strike would go a long way.
Any mark is all that Randy needs. Any mark.
Danny Wiseman already moving into position right in front of our location. We are located within just a few feet of the settee, right where Randy is standing now. So you have to go to the inside voices. That's a mark.
That is any mark. The best kind of any mark.
No, it looks like Brian's winning streak's come to an end.
Unfortunately, it has. Well, to the LeClair family, he needs another grandchild, and he'll start winning again. Simple as that. Somebody get working on that.
Randy does need a dollop of pins here.
6 in 2 attempts.
And it is officially official. Randy Weiss and Danny Wiseman will be our next match. So Brian LeClair starts his season off on a good note with a 5th place finish here at the Villages. And we'll have a little bit of downtime in between games while Danny Wiseman gets some warm-up tosses.
226.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have our first match,
And this is the battle of the 2 players without a PBA50 title.
Winner of this match gets 11-time titleist PBA Hall of Famer Tom Hess.
And at the top of the stepladder, John Janawicz, looking for number 10 on the PBA50 tour. 5-pin just got. In the NFL, that would be a blindside block penalty. What happened to the 5-pin?
A little fast. Last game, Randy was in the low 16, 16-0, 16-1. That was 1677. A little quick off the hand on that one. Uh-oh.
Had it all the way.
I was a little worried for a
all the
second.
way.
I forgot that ball doesn't hook. I forgot.
Well, it doesn't matter if you remember, as long as he remembers.
Correct.
So, okay, for Randy, clean start to the spare. Now we get a look at Danny Wiseman, 12-time PBA champ, 12-time regional winner. He's had a very distinguished career, did a lot for the youth in the state of Maryland when he was living there. Scholarship tournaments, Community Service Award winner.
He also collects Hall of Fame inductions. He's in the Baltimore Hall of Fame, the Maryland State Hall of Fame, the USBC Hall of Fame, and the PBA Hall of Fame. It's a nice collection.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful career. He is the definition of a part-time bowler, especially at this level. I know he bowls locally, but his first PBA title was in Baltimore in 1990. Oh, yeah. Double it up. And, of course, his most famous championship was that outdoor ABC Masters, back then when they used to call it the ABC Masters, the Miller High Life ABC Masters in Milwaukee.
2004 against Patrick Allen from Wesley Chapel, Florida at the time.
Oh, let's see. Wait a minute. PBA Hall of Fame, Maryland State Hall of Fame, Maryland State USBC, Greater Baltimore Bowling Association Hall of Fame.
Oh, did I miss one?
I think you got them all.
Okay.
Yeah. Randy Weiss, wicked strike.
He wasn't very picky where he won either. He won all over the country. Baltimore, Dublin, California, Seattle, Missouri, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Oregon, Texas, Jersey, Illinois, Wisconsin, Nevada. Hey, I'm just going to win.
That was more of that Randy Weiss follow through right there that you saw. And he, once again, he in the 5-pin, able to clear it out a second time. 16 games, Randy averaged 224 to finish 11th. And he had a 299 game in the qualifier. Out of 16 games, only 3 sub 200. These are actually the 11th and 10th seeds. Danny Wiseman was plus 404. Randy was plus 363. And Danny Wiseman had only 1 sub 200 game. Very super consistent. His high was 259. His low was 192. So he stayed in the pocket. That's through the 16 games of qualifying. Things got a little funky today in match play, but they're here. Wait, somebody in the crowd that ball was down 5 inches out of his hand. Somebody said, "Hey, that's pretty good."
Pretty good. He was right. You are correct, sir. Let's see what was so pretty good about this. Look, maybe like pretty much kind of where LeClair was, but a little firmer, a little more rotation.
A little faster, it looked like.
Yeah, a little firmer. Yep. That was 18-8. Let's get after it.
There's definitely some adrenaline going with Danny. He's a little bit of a hyper guy anyway, and so I think he's pumped up.
NASCAR guy, rock and roll guy.
Racing in general, yeah. He loves auto racing, metal. Of course, he's famous for those jerseys that he still wears. The 1 time or 2 times a year we see him. Whoa!
Alrighty then.
That, if this was a basketball game, you could say he threw this down with authority.
Why do I get the feeling he might have been playing a little possum in some of those practice shots? Because all 4 of those shots look
Danny?
pretty darn good.
Never. What are you talking about?
Just an observation.
He's
Just paying attention.
Talking right now to his aunt and uncle who have some prime seats. All right, Randy Weiss, the gauntlet has been thrown down at your feet. Ooh, fast 4. The winner takes on 11-time PBA50 champ, past Rookie of the Year, past Player of the Year, Hall of Famer, Tom Hess.
Seven pin, 4-pin. The 3 single pin leads for Randy Weiss. They move a little bit right.
Right in the pocket.
Squaring things up. 16:39 on the speed, a little bit better than that 7-pin we saw the last shot on that lane. That just got a little quick. Well, that's left. Oh, wow.
Yeah, left nothing behind.
Yeah, she hung on some. There's not many shots we see miss left like that go dead flush.
No, that's a 10-yard holding penalty.
Yeah, look at this. He's been like 7 to 6, 8 to 6. That is 9 to 8.5. Dead flush. I think we got to call that a fortunate break there. But it was so fast that it held line.
Didn't give it a chance to go through the face.
Better roll on that one. Yeah, that was a no-doubter there. No-doubter.
He kind of waved that one off like, yeah, big deal.
Front 6, the old double turkey.
Well, no, he's got a good situation here because he's coming back, sitting down at the settee, and got his back to Randy, although I'm not against him, but he's talking to his family.
Yeah.
Got his aunt and uncle right here, and he's just casually chatting with them after he has his turn. That's got to relax him a little bit, I am sure.
Hand him a lemonade and some flip-flops. I think he's on the beach.
Don't tempt him. And Randy fighting right back.
Another look at this shot. Yeah, Randy's made that little move right, just squaring things up and going right at him. Similar to what we're seeing out of Danny Wiseman.
It's been so interesting. We've had some of these games that were ugly and low scoring and guys hanging on for dear life, and all of a sudden we turn the lights on here and we've got a high scoring 226 is what Randy shot in the first game. That probably won't do here. Brian LeClair had 213.
LeClair bowled better than that 213, those back-to-back pocket splits. Look at that end over end roll, a little bit left, and that was slower.
16.4.
Wow, that sure looks slower. Well, Randy's in a precarious situation here. He's down 63 pins on max count. Even if Danny throws a couple spares in there, he's still on 250s or 260s. The max for Randy's 237. He needs Danny Wiseman to make a mistake, and what we've seen so far, Dave, through the first 6 frames, I don't see that happening.
Well, the only thing that we thought was a mistake ended up being a beautiful strike. That was the one that we thought might have been a little bit too far left, but wasn't. Well, it started left, but it held beautifully, and that was on this lane right here. So we'll see if he tries to avoid that, or if he's just going to keep jamming it up the gut until it doesn't work anymore. His approach has not been subtle at all.
I mean, stays clean. He's in the 250s, high 240s.
Oh, man. 7-pin just got hammered. Watch what happens to the 7. That was kind of fun.
Tomahawk 7.
That was kind of fun. And he's requesting a re-rack on 17.
A little garlic butter in that tomahawk right there. Man. Second re-rack. Both on lane 17. The angle we're sitting, I don't see what's up with that, but he's much straighter behind that pair to see something he didn't like twice.
Yes, down goes the 7 again. 2 different ways to attack that pin. Danny Wiseman reacting to the crowd.
You get it? Watch this release. He dropped this ball. Watch this. Dunk. Didn't matter.
Not 5-pin taking down the 7.
He's got left. He's got right. He's got the front 8. And Randy knows now it's all over but the crying, unfortunately. Another step ladder, but he's going to come up short. Have a chance to bowl for a title.
I would hope that he takes out of here, once you get over the disappointment of getting beat, the confidence that this could be a great year for him on this tour. That's my hope.
I mean, 4th place finish, nothing to be upset about. But remember, I kind of broke it in. We got the 20% to 60%, the 20%. He's in that top 20%, looking to come in and have a great finish and potentially win these tournaments.
Well, this is just one.
Slight disappointed.
We've got the next time the 50 kids gather, it's going to be in Bloomington, Minnesota at the World Series, the 50 World Series of Bowling. There's going to be plenty of opportunities there. All the different patterns. He should come in feeling very good about his game.
Very good. Week and a half or so before everybody's going to be traveling up to Bloomington. Just shy of 2 full weeks, I believe, will converge. on the sub.
Very end of
Minneapolis.
April. Yeah, very end of April. And BowlTV, of course, we will be there to set up everything before CBS Sports Family takes over. And naturally, we're going to be at the PBA event there as well. The unique thing about that, this year's World Series of Bowling is holding the PBA and the PBA50 simultaneously and at 2 different locations.
Yeah, we actually get an extra round of match play. We're going to Final 4 on BowlTV.
Yay.
To set the top 3 for the TV show.
That's right. And you will see the PBA50 bowlers on these CBS shows. They will have a 3-person stepladder for the different Legends patterns.
Front 9 for Wiseman.
Nah, I don't think so. That's okay.
Crowd was trying to help him. And interesting, thinking about it, the significance of the Final 4 is that, we've talked in our match play scenarios, your number 1 seed just needs to win 1 match around the show. That's not going to be the case in that format. The number 1 seed is going to have to win twice to make the show, guarantee the show, because there's that extra round of match play.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to earn it.
Have to learn. And Danny doing a little surgery on the spare ball, I guess.
I'm going to guess he might try a different bowling ball. Not yet, because he does not get practice. Tom Hess will get practice on this pair,
right.
And John Janawicz will get a couple shots as well.
Get it over with now. Get it over with now.
You know something else David just knows both these players between Randy and Danny?
What's that?
Neither uses the interchangeable thumbs. That's extremely rare in today's game. Danny, I can understand, the old school guy doesn't bowl out, but Randy bowls a ton. Got no interchangeable thumbs in those tanks and in the sniper that I'm looking at here. Different ball.
Just a test shot. No big deal.
And Tour there.
255 for Danny Wiseman. So it will be he and Tom Hess battle the PBA Hall of Famers. That's that woulda, coulda, shoulda strike.
Oh, pretty good game. 7-pin strike, 7-pin, 4-pin strike. He's missed one little left for that 6-10, and then strike. And so, another one is in 230. Both solid game, but Danny just fired off the front 8. Got away with one that hung on his thumb. Got away with one that kind of fell off a little early, and that's the ball game.
Well, he is going to end up with a, let's see, well, I was about to say he's going to have a better score than he did when he beat Brian LeClair. He's going to have the same score
if he makes
if he makes this pin. He will shoot a 226 back-to-back. Jack, 226 is pretty good average in a stepladder final, but it was good once, but not the second time.
Well, I think if you ask any of these 5 players before this round started, hey, would you take 226 in these matches with what we saw the last couple rounds? It's yes, please.
Yeah, good point.
Because those weren't no guarantees. Officially 225. Yeah, and Tom just verified to me the attention starts. Yeah, I knew Tom. Yeah,
Shocking. Positively shocking, as Sean
he does not admit it, but I guarantee you that ball goes inside at the hotel. Does not leave in the vehicle.
Well, I was going to say, he
Keeps it
probably
warm,
rides.
probably
when he's-
sleeps with it too.
Yeah, it probably when he's driving from town to town to win all these tournaments he bowls in, it sits in the front seat.
Oh yeah,
Seat
buckled
belted
in. Oh, double.
Or maybe
double,
he has a
double,
child's car seat for it, buckles it in.
Would
very
not surprise
carefully.
me. If he doesn't have one, I've got one I can loan anytime. No, I mean that's the ball he's won. I guarantee at least half his titles on this tour with. At least.
Yeah, let's see here. Little work for Danny on his bowling ball. Just, guess not.
Just messing with the thumb.
This is the last practice shot, I assume?
No, that's it. Here we
Oh,
go.
we're starting. Okay, well, Tom's decided to start. To start. That ball just got put in the trunk.
Is that karma though? Honestly, I mean, it's not fair.
No.
But remember Marcel left at 7-10 to
Again,
lose to Tom, and he starts out with the 7-10.
On the odd chance that John is either still here or watching, he would not call that karma.
Now Tom is a guy, he can pick this up. This
Yeah.
will be this one's going to be probably about 22.5 miles an hour, and I may take the over on that speed.
I'll go 20.9.
21.63, right in the middle.
Very nice. But I won the showcase because you went over the actual retail price.
That was a
didn't you?
rule.
Yeah, it's always a rule. It's the price of right rule. You know that. This is the United States of America.
I watch bowling. I watch prices right.
Price of right rule is you can't go over.
We're gonna have
You
to
know
go to our
that.
Commissioner Chase
You
Kaufman
will-
and
oh
play
God,
that
he rules always in favor of you.
I know.
Oh, Brad Angelo. Oh, I'm sorry, he's not here. Yeah. Boy. Oh well. Let's get back to business. That was not a replay, boys and
No,
girls.
sure looked like it
The
from my angle.
same thing that he just did. Thank goodness.
17.03.
And that's a little amped up. Just a little, not a lot, but a little bit. He started getting in that 16.5, 16.8 region on his speed.
The more direct, it will read a little bit quicker. And this lane will read a little bit quicker as well, just where the speed detectors are placed down lane.
Okay. The rack?
Oh, you talk about rack on 17
Yeah,
again?
he's not a fan of that rack on 17.
No.
You remember he re-racked before,
Twice,
and
yeah,
then when he had the
re-racked twice.
810, he made a comment about the rack. So he's going to have to figure out a way. I don't know if Tom feels that way.
Well, the official rule is they get 2 re-racks basically without asking permission.
And wait a minute, Messenger. Tom gets a lot of these, but not on this occasion.
If they need a 3rd or 4th, they can go to Turner Director Toby Catraz and say, hey, Toby, look at this rack.
You know, maybe
There's something wrong.
Maybe. You remember when he and Toby had a longer conversation than normal about who's going to start the match? The last match, maybe he was saying something about that to Toby, but he did not ask for a 3rd re-rack. And probably don't be shocked if he uses them again in this game.
Yeah, maybe he was saying, can I just bowl the whole game on lane 18? Yeah, that answer is no.
Should Tom win this tournament, he would join Tom Baker, Gary Dickinson, and Dale Eagle with 12 PBA 50 titles. And if John Janawicz wins, he will join M. Leto with 10 PBA 50 titles. The record, of course, I know you're going to be shocked to hear this, Walter Ray Williams Jr.
That's what was going to be my guess.
Yeah, 16.
The answer to every PBA trivia question.
If it comes to winning, just about every one. Except Belmo now with the one answer, but yeah. That's more like it. Kick, save, and a beauty on the 10 for Tom Hess.
7-10, a 10-pin, and a strike.
And a huge sigh of relief. I think if that didn't strike, with the look that Wiseman has right now, Tom would have probably felt like he was in deep hole. But that's a big shot.
Tom's about 1.5 miles slower than Danny. Shaping it a touch more. But confidence for Danny Wiseman is going to be pretty good right now. 255 that first game. That 8-10 kind of hurt his score, but didn't really matter at that time. Starts with a double.
Oh, my goodness.
Let me correct my earlier statement. Danny has left, Danny has right, and Danny has further right.
Well, this is a little bit of luck, let's be honest.
That same guy that said nice shot earlier said hook a lot.
Yeah, that guy's pretty perceptive. I have to give him a mic. Sure.
That was 17-14. A little bit quicker, but definitely right and picked up in the right spot. Danny Wiseman throwing a alert. Tom Hess throwing the attention star right now. It's a better shot.
And look what happens.
That's bowling. Hess can now double up and cut that lead to 10. A couple of strikes.
Old school spare ball for DW.
There's potential that spare ball is older than Danny Wiseman.
I'm not going to touch that.
No, it is possible.
The little mixer for Tom.
Tom is a little more shaped down lane than the other players, but making it work. The downside for Danny Wiseman, if he ever needs a new spare ball, he's not going to get on the Black Diamond because Walter Ray owns all of them that are still available on the planet.
Maybe they can work out a deal. For one tournament a year that he bowls, maybe Walter loans him one. And that's a flush hit for Tom Hess. So he's recovered from the open frame, which is a 7-10 to start, but still trails by 10.
We got us a ball game here, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans.
Yeah, this one could have more twists and turns in it.
Like 14-7, more shape than we've seen, I think, all week really from all the players.
Throws the heat right back at Danny Wiseman. Similar strike to what Hess did on 18. Well, he's not overjoyed with this. Big reaction on that head pin. The head pin did a lot of the heavy lifting for Danny there.
Got some tendencies going, though. 3 shots on this right lane for Wiseman. 1703, 1714, 1736. Getting quicker and quicker and quicker. We talked about he's a high-energy guy, gets amped up. He is getting amped up right now.
Yeah. And will that lead to a mistake, or will he be able to manage that?
Oh, yes. Did we think that Weiss was thinking about getting that first win? Yes, and I think Wiseman is as well. Even though he's a Hall of Famer, won a lot. He's won 12 times a regular tour with a major. He wants to win in this tour.
Sure. Okay.
That's the best shot of the day for Wiseman right there.
He answered back 17.27 and a perfect shot. He may not like that rack, but he might like it a tiny bit better now.
Absolute best shot of the day.
He's trying to stay loose, stretching up a little bit. I don't know if don't know if he has any injuries. I don't think he does. He just might be getting a little tight, a little sore. It's been a long day, a lot of bowling. So Tom has to answer, and he'll get that message.
Wait.
No, he won't.
Oh,
yes, he will.
Yes, he will.
I had it, then I gave up on it. The pin didn't give up on it.
Watch this replay. Watch this.
This took a while.
It did. Head pin coming across something, hit it, slowed it down, and almost fell off into the channel. Just enough.
I wonder if it made contact with a pin that was already in the channel. That might have been the tipping point for that, for Tom. Either way,
he doesn't care.
It's critical.
Yeah.
In fact, that was so late, the scoreboard registered a 9. They had to come down and fix the scoreboard to get it to read correctly for Tom.
Keeps it within 10. And speed control, though, Tom has been on point 1579 and 1587. That's pretty much perfect.
Looks under control here, too. It's still only a 10-pin advantage for Danny Wiseman.
Yeah, we have to talk max scores now because these guys are dialed in.
Yeah, 279.
7-10, 10-pin, the first 2 shots for Tom Hess. And a whole bunch of strikes.
Yeah, 279, 269. Wiseman with the edge. Tom with a 5-bagger. After an uncertain start. All right, let's keep an eye on Danny's miles per hour. He has not had solid strikes on this right-hand lane. He's sent the head pin to do his dirty work for him.
Getting faster. That one looked much more under control. Nice shape.
The 10 out. 10. And Tom goes into the lead.
Yeah, better speed. 17-16, back to where he was. Nice shape, but unfortunately, 6-pin not doing its job. And Hess will have the lead for the first time in this match.
Max now 258 for Wiseman. Money on that 10-pin. John Janawicz awaits the winner. John getting in some warm-up tosses down on the warm-up pair. Are we headed for a collision of the top 2 players on this tour for the last couple of years with Hess and Janawicz, or is Danny Wiseman going to sneak in there and break up that party?
I don't think I have a prediction for you yet on that one.
No.
Too close to call.
I feel like there's still one more turning point in this game. I don't know for whom, but you just feel like there's one more frame that's going to make a difference here.
2 big deep breaths for Wiseman on the approach.
And a big strike.
Yeah, I told you his last shot on that lane was his best shot of the match. That one was too.
Slowed that one under 17 miles an hour, too.
Yeah.
All right, Tom Hess taking a gulp out of that big water carrier he has. And he's going to have to try to make this a 7-bagger. And a little noise. Somebody dropped something behind here. These metal bleachers, you can't make any kind of noise or drop anything.
Right back to the routine. Get the drink of water again. Start things over. Start the whole process over. Tom is very process oriented. Drink of water, deep breath, grab the chamois, grab the ball. Get back to business.
Gotta go. No. A lot of traffic around the 7, but the 7 stays up.
Yeah, you saw it, I saw it, the fans saw it.
The lead changes hands.
Again.
Now Wiseman with the 10-pin advantage, 258 to 248. If you had to pick spare shooters on this tour, Tom would be in the top 3. Easy.
No doubt about it.
I think Janawicz normally would be 1, and then number 2, I don't know, maybe Brad Angelo, who was not at this tournament. And that's why those guys win, because they take care of the little details in addition to the big ones. All right, huge shot for Tom. He can't do anything about Danny Wiseman now. Danny can shut him out. Get there? It did get there. So the Tom is going to have to sit and watch. That's a pretty shot.
Three strikes and a spare on each lane, both 10 pins. Pretty much identical lines on this pair for Danny Wiseman here in this semifinal match.
And he's going to finish on the lane. He doesn't like the rack. So don't be shocked if he strikes here, even if he doesn't, that he will possibly use his re-racks on 17. Oh, that's huge.
He's made it obvious he doesn't like that, but from the last couple shots we've seen on lane 17, it forces him to make sure he's going high flush and making great shots, and he's done that twice. So he may not like the rack, but he gets a little more focused, it seems like, on that lane, knowing he's got to throw it perfect.
If he throws 2 more, all he'd have to do is knock down 1 pin to get into the final against John Janawicz. Anything less than a double here, and Tom's going to have a shot in the 10th. And is he going to rack here, or is he just going to bowl?
So that lone 10 pin in the 4th frame is only blemish on the left lane for Danny, and his last year's shots have been absolutely perfect here on lane 17.
Nope, it looks like he's shooing the re-rack, and he's going to go after it. Got to go. Oh, he did. Slice and dice.
A little firm on that one, 17:28. 3/10 of a mile, almost 4/10 of a mile faster than his last shot.
Several times you talk about having that head pin do your dirty work. Watch the head pin here. Causing trouble. All right, this is the one that would give Danny the victory. He would only have to hit one pin if he strikes.
And 9 spare would be 247. Hess can beat that by a pin. He just wants the opportunity.
Oh, wow, was that gorgeous. Danny Wiseman is going to move on and have a shot at the top player on the tour the last 2 years.
Well, one constant we've seen on this tour for the last couple of years is we see Hess and Janawicz in the finals. It seems like almost every week, one or both. And Tom's going to finish third and hop in the car and go bowl a regional. Head north and keep on bowling. Heading up for the Tournament Champions as well at Riviera Lanes.
Well, we thought the match would turn. We didn't think it would turn on a single pin.
That's 7 pin.
That 7 pin that Tom left in the 8th. It ends up being his undoing. Danny's going to stay behind the foul line. He's going to get what he needs, and he's, wow, what a finish. 258 for Danny, who's bowled 255 and 258 in his 2 games. You know who else does that a lot in this tournament? John Janawicz. That's about the pace he's been on. And that's, well, this could be an epic final match if Danny can keep that up. Wow. High quality final. The lowest score so far, 213, Brian LeClair.
Tom bowled a solid ball game. That 7-10 and 10 pin. Got that break on the 10 pin messenger in the 6th, but then a 7 in the 8th is his undoing here.
Well, or you could even go back to the first shot he had. 7-10 split.
Yeah.
He's going to bowl a great game with a 7-10.
Yeah, the positive though is Tom didn't let him get him down. 7-10, 10 pin to start, made good shots. You know what? I'm in it. He got it. He actually got the lead in the match for a few minutes.
1 pin making that difference in the 8th. Otherwise, Tom is moving on to take on JJ. So now, Danny Wiseman and John Janawicz for the title.
JJ and Danny.
Well, it's a good start for Tom. It's not the start he wants. We know that, but
Ladies and gentlemen, the talent level on display is inspiring. That clutch performances, amazing.
247 isn't enough to win.
Third place, taking home $3,200.
Wow.
Maybe I'm just jealous because he can still wear them from 30 years ago.
Gonna say.
And
Yeah.
my shirts from 30 years ago are all a scarf.
Well, guess who guessed wrong? Look who's starting on the left lane.
Thanks for being here for us. Thanks for making
I said we can never figure out what JJ's going to do. It's not the first time, not going to be the last.
You zig, he zags. I tell you what, I understand the logic because if he was watching, Wiseman killed this left lane in that last game against Tom Hess. He did.
Well, that could just be preference. JJ wants to.
Or that's the other thing.
He's going to finish first.
He thinks, okay, you know what? Fine. You do that. I'll try to finish this thing off on my terms. We'll see. Here we go for the championship. Oh, no.
He said read it. He liked it a lot, but that was quick. That was over 17.
Yeah, but that was in that range he's been.
Yeah, his last couple have been
17.08.
been 16.8, 16.9 the last couple strikes on that lane, though.
All right, staying clean. I don't think we've had a missed spare in this stepladder at all. And we stay clean.
710 for Hess was the only, but mismakeable. No.
Yeah,
Right.
spare. I mean,
Right.
not that nonsense.
Yeah, there's a
No.
two. Yeah,
And
but
the
two splits
810,
from.
yeah, no.
Two splits from. Yeah, I think you're correct. I don't think we've
we've
had any mismakeables.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't been too many difficult spares.
All right, John getting square. He'll take that little baby deer timing step. And he'll have a quitter 10.
Kind of a little black 10 there. I think just kind of died. Black hammer.
And right to
Yeah.
the ball bag he goes. I think that's just for the spare ball, though.
It is just a spare ball, but it could be a ball that maybe. That's another hammer.
That's the thing with him. There's no one who thinks like him. Of all the smart bowlers we have in this tour, and there's some real bowling brainiacs out there, there's still nobody who does what he does and how he does it, I should say.
It's something else that he does. Oh, that was the axe. Yeah, that was his axe.
On that last shot?
Yeah, the spare. Yeah,
shot.
that was his axe.
No,
But
the axe
he,
could be
he
bad.
does have a 15 and 16 pound black hammer as well. Because one hooks, the 16 hooks a little bit more. Little wiggle, gets set, tucks the pinky. Get maximum rotation.
Step and off.
Kind of the same part of the lane we saw Tom Hess. Different piece of equipment, obviously, but very similar line.
And a slower roll, that one under 15 miles an hour. John, a ridiculous average, 243 plus 696. And that's the 243. He was in the 250s when the day began. It was a little slow in the qualifying round. Well, until a 265 finish. But
Hey, you talk about the long day. The players started at 9 o'clock this morning. 4 games the advances are on, and they've had 3 different matches. Start and stop, so this is basically the 5th start and stop of the day here for the stepladder final.
and Wiseman had to bowl the round of 24. John did not.
So we're already 12 hours into this day of bowling.
Ooh, wide right. Oh, yeah. Boy, has he been able to get the mixer, the light swisher, whatever you want to call it, all night long.
And we've seen that carry well in this building. And here's another look at this shot. $16.98. Back to where he was a little bit earlier in the match. Kind of squaring things up a little bit. Not giving the pocket away.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, left lane, my nose.
He's got the crowd behind him here, too. He's got a couple of you back here cheering on every shot. And fans are enjoying the show.
It's been a great show. Randy Weiss defeating Brian LeClair 226 to 213 in our opening match. Then Danny Wiseman beat Weiss 255 to 225. And just moments ago, Danny beat Tom Hess 258 to 247. And that 10-pin again
Same
on the
thing,
right-hand lane. Same shot, pretty much.
Yeah, same pin laying on the decks, too.
Yeah. So John shot 15-12 for 6 games on Tuesday. Shot 15-09 for 6 games on Thursday.
Different ball. Axe day 1, black hammer day 2, 3 pins difference.
And then an 875 set for 4 games today, featuring his only sub-200 game, which was a 188. But by then he was so bloody far ahead that he could do whatever he wanted, really, to get himself ready for the rest of the day, and he finished with a 265. But in the first 2 days, his lowest game was 223. All right. Likes the left, doesn't like the right just yet.
JJ's pretty dialed in. There's been some background noise. Both his last attempts there on the approach and didn't phase him one bit.
I did hear something drop in the distance. I don't know what that noise was. But, yeah, he didn't budge.
Firm.
Strike.
Destroyed the rack.
Yep. And he's maintained the momentum.
45.
You know, that's
the fastest shot of the day.
It's really interesting that he has kept this going. He is really riding a wave right now.
That was easily the fastest shot of the day. Yeah, taking a re-rack. I think one may not like the rack, but two to slow things back down again.
I think that's as much a strategy as anything else, because he didn't re-rack at all in the game against Tom, and although he did against Randy Weiss. He's just trying to stay loose physically. Also, you see him move around a little bit, back and hip. I don't think he has any injuries. I just think he's sore.
Well, this many games in a while.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, many hours in this bowling center today. I didn't realize it was 9 o'clock Eastern time. I had no idea until I just looked now. Gotta go. It does. And he comes out, puts the hands down like, hey, easy there.
Yeah, that was 1735. Yeah, those are the two fast. Well, he had a 1736 earlier. But, yeah, he's gassing it just a little bit right there. See a lot of new viewers in the chat. We enjoy each and every one. You know, spread the word. Plenty of bowling to come all week, all season long here on BowlTV. Hope everybody enjoys the show.
This is the tour where the legends roll. Yes, sir. There. Finally gets that right lane to behave.
Well, I don't know. Watching the replay of that shot, that right lane, that could be the demise for JJ. Even that one struck, but that ball steamrolled the 9-pin and deflected a lot.
He is dialed in on the left, so a big three-bagger for Janawicz. But it's Danny Wiseman with the 20-pin advantage.
Just a pair of 10 pins for Janawicz on the right lane so far.
Yep.
That's been it. They're both really flat black weak 10s.
So I was watching Danny Craig while JJ was getting ready, and he stopped talking to his family, looked straight ahead, just kind of controlling his breathing, not deep breaths, but I think he is trying to slow himself down. It's been a while since he's been in a position like this for a national title. And he's so close to it.
Take a little more time with the setup approach as well.
Man.
Dialing things in here.
Yeah, he's been slow. It's so funny for he's chucking it so hard, but it's taken him a while to get, he's taking his time. If this were a national telecast with a running clock, he would either have to get going or lose most of his check. But here we don't have that issue. And so these guys can take a little bit more time if they wish. And I think it's wise that he does, if I may say so.
I see what you
I didn't mean to do it that way either. That was not worthy. That was not worthy of a rim shot. That was just, I've been keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, it's a no rim shot
step
Stepladder.
Yeah. So, and he is doing everything he can to cool the jets. Wow.
He was up on all that one instantly. He aced it. Absolutely aced this shot, and he knew it.
Yeah. He's thrown a few million shots in his life. You know when it's a good one.
I think 2.3 million is what he told me he's thrown so far in his career.
You know what? I don't think he would count. John would know.
Yeah.
I don't think Danny would count.
I think John's probably over that number. He bowls all over the world a lot through his career.
When he's not traveling as the lane man.
And we're glad he's been on this tour the last couple of seasons.
Are we ever?
I mean, everybody's wondering what happens when JJ bowls a tour. Now we know. 9 titles in 2 seasons.
And he's right on top now. He's cleaned up his act on that right-hand lane, but hard to imagine that right now his max score is 270, and it might not be enough.
Well, obvious answer, that is throw it better. Those 2 10 pins.
I don't think. Well, okay. Where was that before he threw it, pal?
He didn't ask.
Good point. Don't think he's going to either.
No, he's definitely not going to ask.
He might ask us where to grab a bite someplace, although he's pretty good at that.
Not sure about that either.
But he's not going to come over here for advice.
Maybe a hotel reservation.
Nah, he's good there too.
Yeah, I'm sorry I can't help you then, JJ. You're on your own.
Poor guy. Hope he can handle it.
He'll be okay.
Just crept right in, slithered into the pocket. So he's got a 5-bagger going. The problem is his opponent has a 6-bagger going.
And I just did what you did last time. I peeked around the monitor here and watched Danny. He was looking away from the lanes, eyes closed, breathing. Did not open his eyes until he heard the ball hit the pins. Did not watch that shot.
Yeah, he hasn't looked at anybody's shot. Because of his proximity, you've got the monitor kind of blocks where he sits. I can see him clearly. And so I've been watching him all the time, and he didn't watch any of Randy's shots or Tom's shots. He would turn after the shot and look at the board or maybe see, hey, that sounded like a strike. Was it a strike? But that's it. And he's also stopped the conversations with his aunt and uncle who are so close I could actually literally touch the top of their heads. He's now I think it's sinking in with him what he can do here.
That was really fast.
Really striky. But you're right. That was an amped up shot.
Only read 17-19, but that looked like it blew through the fronts.
100% agree with that. Is he going to take a rack
Yep,
here?
absolutely.
Yeah. He needs to slow down. He does.
Yeah, and that's he just made that motion too. Puts the hands out and push. Yeah, slow down.
Well, his reaction as he came back after that shot, you might see if his face, he's happy he struck, but he's like, nah, that's
the ball
not.
was already coming up the bar return before that 5-pin fell. That was gassed. But these are the things that the greats don't forget. Okay, he's identified multiple times he's gotten quick. Let me take a rear rack. Let me take a deep breath. Go through the process. Get reset and make a quality shot. 2 of the best shots we've seen in 3 games have been on this lane in these situations. Make that 3 of the best shots.
Wow.
Have been on this lane in that situation.
All right. John Janawicz stepping into a difficult 9th and 10th frame situation given what Danny Wiseman's doing, but he will have something to say about what Danny Wiseman's going to have to do in the 10th.
JJ has to strike out because 9's pair strike for Danny's 269. JJ strikes out for 270.
Now, he can't make a mistake. You're right.
No.
He already knows that. Oh, his first poor shot.
Yeah, that was slow.
An inopportune time. That one 14.55 for Janawicz.
Little in, little slow. That's probably one of the worst shots we're going to see John throw all year long.
And in late in the match, where I have repeatedly said he's the best at finishing off a match of anybody on this tour. So it got a little bit easier for Danny. Actually, a lot easier.
Yeah, I think Danny's won his first PBA50 title. Yeah, he's already in 250s. JJ's max 248. We have a new champion.
Added to the list of first-time winners on the PBA50 Tour, Hall of Famer Danny Wiseman has done something he has not done in a distinguished career.
Tom Hess shot 247. Wasn't enough. John Janawicz, also in the 240s. Not enough. Danny strikes out. He can shoot .803 in his 3 games. That's hard to beat.
I don't know if it's sunk in yet. I don't know if he's looked at the score. But with the years of experience, I think he knows that 9th frame was John's last shot.
Be a great time to have that. Sorry, to have a camera on him. He's just kind of looking off a distance, just taking it all in.
Not smiling yet. I'm sure he will after his next shot, though. So John Janawicz dominates qualifying, but it's going to finish second. Kind of exactly what happened to him at Bud Moore when he got run over by Tom Hess. Tom shot into the 290, almost had a perfect game that time, but 248 for John Janawicz isn't going to be enough.
What a crazy stepladder final that was. To think Wiseman can go spare 8-bagger and still have to mark in the 10th to win the game. Doesn't have to ultimately, but my goodness.
Well, let's
Congrats.
finish it off. Let's get this 290 here.
Yeah, 290 for 803. Well, Danny and others watched what JJ did all week long, and he knew he was going to have to shoot at least 250 this game, and he has done just that.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that might have been the fastest of the day. Yeah, it was definitely amped up, but it doesn't matter. He knows.
No.
Yeah.
Danny Wiseman's taking his victory lap right now as he joins the distinguished ranks of Hall of Famers who were winners on the PBA 50 tour with his first PBA 50 title, now his 13th national title as a pro. It's all right. It's all over. And Danny Wiseman is your champion of the Villages.
768, 3 games set. Great step ladder. Great showing. Awesome stuff. David Lamont's going to get down there and have a little chat with Danny. First-time champion, Hall of Famer right there. This one's going to be kind of special for him, I guarantee it. Something he's been trying to do for a while. His one event on the year, and he wins it. So I think the obvious question Dave's going to have to ask is hey, you might as well bowl again now. I got to keep that win streak going.
Well, can we hear it for all of our stepladder finalists? This is an incredible, one of the best PBA 50 stepladders I've watched. And you all were a big part of that, so thank you very much for that. All right, Hotshot, anytime. Yes, it's your turn. I know you're not used to this. You bowl one tournament every 10 years now. Once a year. A little closer here, if it was just about as far as I can pull this. All right, you're back in the winner's circle. It's been a while.
14 years.
Middletown. All right, Middletown, Delaware. That's right, back in 20. So,
14.
Did you ever think you'd be in a winner's circle again?
Running out of time because I don't bowl a lot. So I'm like, I keep talking about it that, I've won in 4 decades. This is the 5th decade now. And I'm 58. So I'm like, I got to win before I get to a super senior thing, and then, if I'm bowling. But, this is 5 decades. It's been 14 years. And, I keep plugging away at this tournament. I made it a couple of years ago. I bowled pretty good here every year. And, it's not like I'm bowling a lot, but it's just like you can just flip the switch. It's fun. And, I call it fun aggravation now, but, it's not my job anymore. God bless these guys here. These guys do it. They're incredible. John, Tom, Brian, just awesome bowlers. I watch them on BowlTV, and it's just fun to come out here and see the guys, and it's just pretty cool. Thanks to my Uncle Don and Aunt Kathy for letting me hang out at the house and 14 roundabouts at home to get there. 14 roundabouts, but no, this is really cool. And hi to my love at home. I couldn't make it this week because she had to work. Somebody's got to work. Dana, she's been right there with me through everything the last, 18 years. So it's been a lot. It's been a lot that's happened. So, everybody at Ormond Lanes, thanks for letting me practice there and working with the kids. And of course, thanks to Spanish Spring Lanes, Bolero, everybody, all the staff, everybody for coming out this week. I'm glad to see everybody come out. I mean, it's been a pretty good crowd all week. Really fun. Any questions?
Yeah, I did have one, actually. We were talking quite a bit, Craig and I, about how amped up you appeared to be, your ball speed and all that. Yet we were also watching, because of our proximity, how you were working on the mental battle. Which was tougher, the physical battle or the mental battle?
Physical, because like I said, I don't bowl a lot. My hip is killing me right now. I don't know why, just from bowling. I don't bowl a lot of games here under the pressure and all. The mental game, that's something I've always been good at, just trying to get myself in that right space, just breathing. I could always control my heart rate. It was a little more difficult being older, and I'm not doing it week in and week out. But, I was just trying to get my, amping it up. I mean, I wanted to stay up the lane. I saw where Randy was playing, and, if I could stay on top of that, I didn't move. Yeah. I did squeeze up on the right lane a little bit. I didn't move. I felt like John, the first block. He never moved. I'm like, I was ready to. I was ready to jump a little left. But I'm like, you know what? Just stay up behind it and just try to get it up the lane. It's good.
Toes in the sand tomorrow?
Actually, no, not tomorrow. Maybe Sunday. Actually, Saturday night at the Daytona Tortugas game, I'm supposed to throw out the first pitch. It's bowling shirt night, and I will probably roll that thing in the grass because I don't know if my arm will do that because it cracks, cringles, and everything else from years of.
Channel your inner Jim Palmer. You'll be fine.
Yeah, okay. Maybe there'll be video on Facebook or something. I don't know. It's going to be fun. But anyway, yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. It's been a really, really fun week. Kudos to John. He's in another planet. I mean, we've talked before, and JJ is just absolutely phenomenal. We talked. I mean, he's incredible. The stuff that he does, very analytical and this and that. And, and when I bowled on tour, I was kind of like that. I wrote things down, this and that. Now it's kind of, it's fun. But, I watch him work, and it's insane. It's another level. And the way he bowled this week and what he did, we're all like, I said to him, I said, what planet are you on? Because I had the same cross of lanes with him. And, I would look at the racks and this and that. He knocked 500 million pins more over than me. Like, how'd you do that with them racks? But, he's incredible. So, but yeah, that's one and done for me. So, everybody on the rest of the tour, have fun.
All right, well, listen, congratulations. You got one. Well done, my friend. Danny Wiseman, your champion here at Spanish Springs Lanes.